Okay, so we apparently managed to pick up 2 small kids and even 2 plumbers, which are essentially Mario and Luigi's case. So, yeah, that's all there is to really think about. Hey everybody, this is me, Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I'm Piglet here. We are back for some more of the Maxi Toys videos, of course. And welcome back to my last play of Super Smash Bros. Brawl Subspace Emissary Mode for the Nintendo Wii. So last time we actually did done the second part of the Great Maze, and today for this episode we can hopefully continue on with the Great Maze, and also not to mention, if we recall correctly, then we might actually go ahead and say now, we might actually go ahead and complete this mode during time. So yeah, let's go back into that left door over there, which I'm presuming this might be correct. Nope, that's not the right door we need to get into. The door we need to actually enter into is actually on the bottom right, so even I know that we can actually, you know, get back into the Icicle Mountain section. So, and as you guys can completely see on screen right now, that our score count is now reset to 0, because, you know, if you actually exit out the level, or even essentially if you actually try to actually turn off the game completely, your score count will reset to 0. So, I don't know if you actually save your score system from the previous system or something like that. Maybe, I don't know, but we'll find this out during that time. So, anyway, so now we're going to be moving on into the Battlefield Fortress type of area. So even though, as far as I'm concerned, there might be only 2 opponents that we need to face off against. Well, specifically for the doppelganger on this particular section. Well, at least specifically for 3 opponents, most likely, because there's one from the other side, which we'll get into now in a moment. And there's also, oh wait, I think there was actually, yeah, I think I was concerned about it was actually 3 opponents around in here, so, because we'll actually get into that just towards the, you know, sorry for the lack of dialogue. So anyways, we need to get ourselves our key here to actually access to this particular, section up there. And the key was actually not that far, it was actually formed off to this platform over there. However though, due to the arm mines was almost going to be approaching towards us. But hey, thanks to we actually got ourselves our, you know, a trophy stance, and even then though we can definitely capture him as a trophy. So even then though we managed to accomplish that. So let's see beyond in this door here to see what we're going to be faced off against. It looks like we're going to be faced off against with the evil King Lord from the Hyrule franchise. Well, in this case, the Land of Hyrule, which is essentially Ganondorf. In this case, the element of the Triforce of Power. Well, the Zelda was actually the Triforce of Wisdom, and obviously Link was Courage. Well, specifically if you ever played The Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link on the NES. Well, if you ever played the first game, it doesn't usually technically exist yet, so even then that's only because of how the fact that, oh, crikey, crikey, crikey. Darn it, we can't see what's up ahead. Yeah, way to go, Ganondorf, right there. Well, we don't mind Ganondorf as a result, though, but it's just a doppelganger version of Ganondorf that we always get butt kicked by that one point or another. So anyways, now we end up into the unknown room. Because yes, as you can see, that if these opponents are still present there, means that yeah, there's still some other stuff that needs to be remaining. So, but even though we already done with all the boss battles basically, so even though we have to deal with just most likely the doppelganger fight. So, next up is Donkey Kong. See, I thought it was kind of weird though, considering how the fact that we're actually on the final section in the game. Well, we're not going to get into that just yet though, because it only requires, in order to actually deal with Tabuu, is to actually just try to get rid of not only bosses, but also the doppelganger versions of the characters themselves. So, that's basically how you usually can get there, people. But even then though, what I found was so odd about is that since we're actually on the Subspace section, and then next thing you notice is that when we enter the door to the right, then we ended up in the battle arena against with Donkey Kong on that particular exact same arena, but with a, you know, twirling parts in addition to that. Alright, so the next 4 opponents we need to face off against is Fox, Bowser, and the 2 swordsmen, means Ike and Mark. In this case, both from, yeah, sorry for a little bit of an awkward dialogue error, which in this case that we can actually deal with the last 2 opponents from the Fire Emblem franchise. So, yeah, that should be as far as we might expect to see how this is going, because even then though, we've pretty much gone almost towards the end of this particular mode, especially a particular level as a matter of fact. So, yeah, it's quite surprising though, actually. So, oh, don't you dare try to knock us off, please. Thank you. Even though that you know, the stupid arm might just almost just try to distract us. And what the Christ, man? We literally survived from that, but the screen actually tells us that no, I'm not gonna let you just survive all this screen crunching and things because just no, you just feel like he's being a retard. But anyway, though, enough about that. So yeah, because of this though, oh my god. We almost get bug kicks already. But even then, no, I was really hoping that if we actually do not lose on it. I'm so sick of these Armites. I'm still really am. But even then, no, that's only because of how the fact that we easily get bug kicked by these guys so easily. Because again, that it gets even progressively harder as you progress in that. Whoa, we almost got frozen right there. But even then, no, we can hopefully go to. Stop that, please. Auto Lance, isn't it? Yeah, it's Auto Lance. I'm so sick of these guys. But as long as you actually completely ignore these guys, basically, but even then, you should be able to actually avoid those enemies during time. Next, we actually going to be faced off against is Mark. In this case, the fastest swordsman. Even though, unfortunately, though, we only have like one member of the characters department, which is Luigi. So I really get a feeling that we're not going to beat him in time. So even then, that will gives us a fourth continue. So that might be the ideal way if this is coming up. So yeah, as far as I told you so. Ah, damn you, Marth. Even I would blame on Auto Lance for a moment there, because you know the Auto Lance is actually really strong by the looks of it. Even especially including the oh, what's that the enemy's called again? Arm Knight. I think that's what it's at. So even then, this is the only character battle that we actually did manage to get you to continue from. So even then, that so far we actually did so well in the character battles, but there are some exceptions, like you know, sometimes they usually go really quick about it, and I got screwed by the bumper. That's a bit lame. Actually, let's let Lucas try to actually just to deal the final blow. But even then, though, speaking of such, though, we're actually going to be playing through Lucas for the entire stage again. But you know. Alright, so now it does it for Mark out of the way. Even though despite the fact that we already used to continue the process, now we can actually hit back, and thankfully we got ourselves our barrel cannon, technically speaking. That's only because you can actually now instantly go back into the previous section you already been into. So yeah, you just since you are. But even then, I still really despise Armites basically, so anyways, now we got ourselves 3 more opponents to face off against, which consist of Ike and Bowser, and especially Fox as well. So before we actually go ahead and move on, is that although we're originally trying to go ahead and save our progression here, especially noticeable where we're trying to generate our characters and especially the percentage meter, we won't actually save this up until we actually face off against with Ike first. So hopefully this should give us a chance while doing so. As a matter of fact, that there might be something that's more likely happening. So anyway, so let's go ahead and just, toss the bomb over towards this fire pomade here. And we can hopefully try to blast with this little barrel cannon all the way towards the top here until we actually hit ourselves this little familiar circle symbol, which actually represents we can now actually enter in the next dark door, or in this case a darkness door, to actually fight Ike. So because that Alright, so as far as Ike is concerned, he might be a little bit trickier, or if I had to be brutally honest here, this is by far the hardest doppelganger fight in the entire game. It's most likely because, that we already mentioned it, we established earlier about Ike's movesets, is that his attack pattern is actually super strong. Even though despite the fact that he's walking so slowly, but even then though, oh man, we haven't exactly got damage on him, but even then though, that's only because he's way too fast. Even especially noticeable, his sword swinging attacks is super strong. So that's why I'm considering that Ike was definitely the hardest opponent to fight against, even for the doppelganger fights like this. So yeah, that's all that usually happens though. So anyways, we're now going to actually just to put in the pity ball towards him, So even though we can hopefully try to guarantee we can actually deal the damage on him, if that's to say the least. And we can hopefully try to finish him off as soon as we can. Come on, he's not down yet. Come on, there we go. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the Battlefield Fortress, basically. So, I believe we already missed out, like, 2 more opponents left, which are Bowser and Fox. So, I think the only location that Bowser was actually located was actually on the Fiery Pit section, or the Fire Pit section. And I believe Fox was actually informed of the Swamp section. So, yeah, because of the relatable to the Star Fox team members. Well, usually kind of speaking as such though, because they always work with Diddy Kong in order to actually rescue Donkey Kong. So, anyways, now we restored that, so now we need to head back into the third save point. But first, before we actually find that, we need to actually find ourselves the specific save spot that always grants ourselves these little teleportation platforms. So even then, we can hopefully try to actually catch up to that one point. And we can eventually guarantee we can actually hopefully try to actually get towards it. So, anyway though, so a few things I want to mention about this is that we haven't exactly established earlier for just a few moments ago during the last video, and especially noticeable in the other video ago as well, that the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic DVD, specifically Season 4 DVDs in UK, has been now being slightly got to its release date now, which I first thought it was going to be released on 2016, but it turns out it's going to be pushing back to 2017 for some reason. I think the reason why for this, Sonic, is probably because of the limitations of the movie was about to be revealed until, you know, a couple of days' time now. So even though that's not that long until when it's usually finally released. So, and also the same applies to, although essentially the DVD is called Rarity Taste to Manhattan. We even know that, yeah, 95%. So even though we actually got 5% left. So, we're pretty much almost completely done with the Great Maze at long last. Now, before we actually get into the, is it the right, you know, teleportation thing we need to go into? I think this is the correct spot we need to hit into. Yep, I think that's the one we need to get into. Because we need to actually go down here to actually provide us. Sonic, where are you going? That's not the right way. Oh, I thought you meant we're going on to the left door, but somehow I just completely ignored you. Yeah, you're supposed to go down there, Sonic, even though we technically already been down there before. But, you know, we missed out on quite a lot of things in that particular section at the moment, so. Anyways, let's go back and, go back into the Fiery Pit section now. So yeah, I don't know why they actually did manage to delay let's say, I believe they managed to delay it for about twice for, Rarity Takes to Manhattan DVD, as well as, Modify as well. Well, technically the third time, actually, Sonic. Oh, what's that exactly? Well, it did go into release, Rarity Takes to Manhattan DVD until when it gets to, the 4th of September because of, you know, the My Little Pony the movie will be slowly closing to release. Similar to how it does it in Mario & Luigi Superstar Soccer plus Bowser's Millions on the 3DS, and even Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch. So that's quite a lot of announcement things that we can think of. So, and yeah, not to mention that idiots have a roads. I hate those. So anyways, let's go ahead and dodge these bullet bills. And we can hopefully guarantee we actually approach into the door itself, which I believe we're going to be face off against with Bowser. Because, you know, Bowser was actually the curious monster after all, so. We easily got grabbed. Come on. He owned us. So easily like this. But let's let Luigi's time to shine, so even that he's essentially a pretty cool fighter as far as I'm concerned. So, anyway though, speaking of Modify DVD for the UK version of My Little Pony Friendship Magic DVD, apparently originally it was trying to be re-releasing it until when it gets to October during that time, in the 9th of October, around the almost until when it gets to the point until 11 days before the actual movie was about to be released, or even especially noticeable in the 3 days after Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Millions on the 3DS became released. or even especially noticeable in, you know, just about roughly. Oh, god dang it. We almost tried to finish him off with the home run bat. Hopefully we get a chance here. Eat this! Home run! Or out of the park, whatever you prefer. Sometimes it's really, you know, it's a two alternate ways you can actually just use the home run bat to begin with, so. Anyways, now we actually got ourselves one more foe to face off against, and that was the former Fox McCloud. So, in order to actually reach the ring, we must able to actually get into the swamp section, so. And first things first, we need to actually clarify if we're actually just to find ourselves the save point, in this case the third version of the save system. So hopefully then we're not going to have any too much trouble here, so at least anytime soon though, I had to amend those something, so yeah, back into the topic about the Money version was Magic Mod Pie DVD UK version. Originally it was supposed to be released on the 6th of October, but they decided to actually push the DVD back again for a third time in a row, but this time it's going to be released on sometime in 2018, which I don't know why they tried to do that, but even then though, I don't know exactly, they don't have any sort of explanation or anything like that. But still, we may looking forward to the Rarity Takes Main Hatter one though, at least. But sometimes Premiere Screen, that the developer of the DVDs, they're usually behind all this. Sometimes they always attempt to want to make these DVDs slightly a little bit of a delay compared to how it does it in the Clear Vision. Well, technically Clear Vision does already published just only 3 volumes, and specifically in Season 1. Yeah, I could imagine so. Specifically back in 2013 to 14, but until it gets to Sonic Rainbow and especially the latest episodes related, it's now going to change into a different publisher, which was the Brawl Screen, so yeah, I see to get a point. Alright, so here we are at the swamp section again, but this time we need to actually just to go on to the far right because that's the last goal we need to actually mainly focus on, so, and once we do all of that, then we can actually hit back onto the main final area of the game, which is essentially the Tabuu's hideout. So even then though, we can hopefully try to guarantee to actually kick his butt anytime. So that could be a bit of a, you know, potential if any works. So, alright then, Mr. Fox McCloud, come and get some. But even though he kind of feels more like the easier side of things compared to Ike and all that, because, you know, it doesn't have as strong attacks. Well, he's kind of fast though, but even then though, that he's pretty easy to actually just KO him, so hopefully we go ourselves out. No, we could potentially try to actually freeze him to death. But unfortunately though, we're too late on that one, so oh well though, at least as far as we can still survive through this. So yeah, that's all I can gather. There we go. And that's pretty much it. That's all the doppelganger fights. Even then though, combined with all the boss battles we've totally dominated through. And also the same applies to the doppelganger fights as well. So, even though despite that I've already have some couple of continues and all that stuff. And just like how it does it if you actually finish off with the mod fights, you actually get yourselves the barrel cannon until you actually go back to the previous section you've already been to. So that does it for that. And now we're going to move on to go back onto, you know, the Tabuu's hideout. But in order to actually get to that faster enough, is that we need to actually go back onto the third save system. And also, yeah, we need to actually go ahead and just teleport it through the second save zone. And we can hopefully guarantee we can actually explore the jungle area and we can actually enter the top left door. Until you actually, every nowadays, I'm pretty sure he actually now spawns in the bigger purple arrow this time. Because I'm pretty sure that's what it represents when there's actually the final boss awaits us. So, yeah, that could be far from a potential, well, between the two or whatever. So we're still at 95%, so even then, that's, I get this horrible feeling though, Sonic. I think once we actually finish the main game, then I'm pretty sure that I get a feeling that we might actually missing something. What's that exactly? Well, you remember the level, which was the Subspace Bomb Factory Part 2? I get the feeling that, well, we did actually find so many secrets, by recently research on those kinds of stuff, there's actually one missing secret we actually missed out from. Oh, how'd you guess that? Because the game just never once allows us to guess of if we actually did manage to find everything on that particular level. Because, you know, the subspace already sucked up the entire level already. But even though we can hopefully guarantee we need to actually research on that on our own time. So even though we can hopefully guarantee by that. But that's just me. So anyways, now we need to actually go on to the, of course, past the jungle-ish area. And also, not to mention that we need to dodge a lot of enemies, which you can, thankfully, you can actually just skip. So even though you can actually just bypass these enemies no problem. Actually, let's go ahead and kill this hammer bro, because that enemy deserves it. So anyways, before we actually move on, even though we could potentially try to actually get the enemy trophy from here, but of course they've already kicked our butts anytime, so let's just completely ignore those. Anyway, so since we actually finished all those, then the door is now fully open. So you know what that means, folks? Now we're about to be moving on into the final point of the Great Maze, aka the final boss of the game. Sonic! I can't believe it! I was actually in the game all this time! And even in the end of the game, as a matter of fact. So yeah, let's go ahead and select Sonic for this, so even then though we can actually discuss upon his movesets, so even then though that your moveset should be interesting. And let's go ahead for, and also same applies to Mario, Lucas, Kirby, and we'll go for Yoshi, and of course, lastly, we'll go for, let's say we'll go for Ganondorf, basically. So even though we can actually entirely going to be dealing with the final boss in the game, known as Tabuu. So he's essentially is more accurately the hardest boss battle in the entire game. Gotta say this much right now. But even though it's basically noticeable if you actually just decide to actually go for the higher difficulties and what have you. So yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog, aka myself, that his first appearance was obviously in forms of Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Mega Drive in 1991, which is pretty obvious at this point. And also that, especially noticeable in this game's case, even though until it gets to the point until Super Smash Bros. 4 for the Nintendo Wii U and 3DS, that I've always been unlocked from the get-go. Oh, right there, that's an instant KO move, because even then though, if you do not dodge there during time, then you obviously gonna get kicked out, so you have to watch out. And also, same applies for that attack, so even though that attack did really catch me off guard. But even though that's only because of how the fact that sometimes he gets like a random attack pattern, so hopefully we can actually just slightly try to KO him, but even then, yeah. So yeah, as far as the Sonic the Hedgehog is concerned, that he's actually the unlockable character, similar to how it does it in Solid Snake, pretty much. Oh, darn it. So, now, unlike in any other unlockable characters, they do have like 3 different methods of how to unlock these specific characters. Sonic the Hedgehog does have not only 3, but just 4 unlockable methods. The reason being for that is because, well, let's put up into a different category, shall we? Number 1, you can either play 300 matches in the versus matches, or complete classic mode with 10 different characters, or number 3, play 10 hours of the versus matches, or number 4 is by simply you have to actually complete the Great Maze level, and that's all you're really trying to do here, so. And then also if you manage to unlock Sonic, you actually get yourselves a very unique stage, which is actually inspired by Sonic the Hedgehog 1 in the 1991 game. And one thing I did not actually mention about the Mr. Game & Watch basically is that if you do manage to unlock Mr. Game & Watch, you actually unlock a new stage, which is actually formed of Flat Zone 2, which is basically more likely a spiritual sequel to the first Flat Zone back in Dreams of Smash Bros. Melee. But even though they did actually add in a lot more gimmicks this time around. So even then though, once you've actually unlocked Sonic in this game, that you actually get yourselves not only the Green Hill Zone, but also the Assist Trophy, which is actually forms of Shadow the Hedgehog. So even then though, what Shadow the Hedgehog can do is that he can actually perform a slowed down time, basically, to actually perform the chaos controls. So, yeah. Even then, though, we haven't exactly explained about the Tabuu's boss fight in general. I really do apologize for that, folks, because we usually talked about unlockable stuff, basically. So there we go, folks. Tabuu is now finally vanquished. And that was it for the Great Maze. So enjoy the ending to Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Nintendo Wii in the Subspace Emissary mode, basically. So yeah, we actually got 105 coins. That's actually kind of unique. And we got, you know, it looks like the world of the entire universe has been fully restored. So yeah, that was it basically. That was it for Super Smash Bros. Brawl, specifically in the Subspace Emissary mode. And then once you actually, after when you see this particular cutscene, you're actually going to be seeing this text right here. Means like a different multiple languages and all that stuff, including the likes of the English text and all that stuff. What this meant is actually forms of the lyrics of the entirety of the Super Smash Bros. Brawl main theme. So even then though, I found it to kind of a little bit more interesting, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, obviously the ones at the top is actually the main focus of the lyrics, basically. Well, you can actually simply, you can tell on the English translation, you can see on the bottom part of the lyrics set. But even then, that's pretty cool and nicely touched too. So yeah, that was about it basically. That was it for Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Nintendo Wii. I think this is easily, without doubt, one of my favorite Nintendo Wii games I've ever played, alongside with Super Mario Galaxy 1 and Super Mario Galaxy 2 as well, which are both one of my favorites, or even the best ever Nintendo Wii games we've ever played. But even then though, that still, this game, even almost until 10 years old, until next year, that it still holds up even to this day. But even then though, that I'm really impressed of how the fact that the character roster has actually gone a little bit upscaled compared to how it does in the previous installments. Even then though, I'm presuming actually now add in 10 more plus characters. Well, there are some replacements like, you know, Roy was non-existent and Dr. Mario was non-existent. And Pichu was non-existent because Pichu did really suck in Super Smash Bros. Melee. I had to be brutally honest with you guys. And Young Ling was nowhere to be seen, however, though. But even then, that's a pretty okay choice when it comes to the character roster so far. So even then, that's quite a lot. Even then, I was really surprised at how the fact that both Solid Snake from the Metal Gear Solid series and also Sonic the Hedgehog was actually in the game for the first time in the Super Smash Bros. Universe. Well, technically Super Smash Flash does technically count as from the first ever Super Smash Bros. Game to actually feature my character on here. But technically it's not in a console game, it's just basically on a fan game, so... And also same applies to Super Smash Flash 2, so but even then, that game was still in development at the moment, so we got ourselves the beta version out of the way, so... Yeah, the visuals in Super Smash Bros. Brawl is absolutely impressive, even though it's more likely, it almost reminds me of like a realistic settings look, as opposed to the likes of how it does it for, although the overalls of Mario is still there, and also for the, all the stitching in pockets on Mario and Luigi's overalls and the realistic Pharaoh and Donkey Kong, it's actually still present to this day, and still looks really great for the Nintendo Wii title. And also the soundtrack, oh man, the music in this game is absolutely spectacular. And especially noticeable in the story itself is actually very complex. Even especially noticeable that, well, technically Super Smash Bros. Melee does attempt to have the adventure mode to begin with back in Melee. But you have to do is basically go for 12 stages and, you know, vice versa, and the list goes on. But in this, is that you have to simply actually go for the actual stages themselves, where you're trying to explore some other things like hidden collectibles and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's actually pretty cool. And also the controls is actually it actually feels very smooth actually, especially noticeable, and I highly recommend you guys, especially if you ever played Melee before, go for the GameCube controller because that's the definition of the best controller you're able to use. Sure, the physics can be a little bit too weird at first, even especially noticeable that it was actually going a little bit floaty this time compared to Melee and Smash 4. But even then, once you get used to the physics and all that stuff, then you should be able to clarify to actually just to get used to with it. The only problem I have with the game is easily the online mode, because fudge online mode. But thankfully though, the online mode doesn't exist anymore because, you know, Nintendo Wi-Fi connection is now shut down. Yeah, I kind of felt sad in the Mario Kart way, but as for Brawl, it just kind of feels a bit too lacking. Well, thanks to the Project M. Although we will discuss more details until we get into the last video of this Let's Play. And speaking of such, join us next time for that, is the fact that we're actually going to be doing with quite a lot of things actually, is that we're going to be collecting 3 last secret characters. So see you guys next time. Later, fellas. See you guys then.